Welcome to Finding Community Data, SF Find. SF Find is an interactive map tool developed by the San Francisco Mayor's Office and the San Francisco Planning Department. In SF Find, you will find neighborhood boundaries, zip codes, and census tracts. These three different types of boundaries are used to track community data, but each type of boundary does not match with the other. So use the different data sets that you come across, but use it wisely and be aware of where each boundary comes from. Before we use SF Find to view neighborhood, zip codes, and census tract boundaries, let's talk about where each of these boundaries come from and see a visual of how they come together. SF neighborhood boundaries are put out by three different places: the San Francisco Association of Realtors, the Office of the Mayor, and the San Francisco Planning Department. The boundaries you find in SF Find are from the Mayor's Office and are based on those from the Planning Department and the SF Association of Realtors. Then you have zip code boundaries. These are developed by the United States Postal Service. And census tract boundaries are put out by the United States Census Bureau. Each boundary serves its own purpose, but none perfectly match with the other. For example, here is a representation of the Stonestown neighborhood as defined by the SF Mayor's Office and found in SF Find. This is a representation of the zip code boundaries that cross over the Stonestown neighborhood, also found in SF Find. And now this is a representation of the U.S. Census Bureau census tracts that cover the Stonestown neighborhood. If you lay each of these boundaries over the top of one another, you can see how their boundaries do not match with the others. Now that we've seen how the zip codes and census tracts and neighborhood boundaries all fit together, let's go into SF Find to see how we can find this information. Get to SF Find by going to the SF Planning Department website, selecting Map Library under Resource Center, and scrolling down to SF Find. Click on the map to open SF Find. Once SF Find is open, select a neighborhood from the pull-down menu. The system will generate a report with information relevant to the chosen neighborhood. Use the tabs to navigate the report. Click on the Places and Services tab and then Zip Codes to find the zip codes associated with the neighborhood. Click on the Other Information tab to view the census tracts associated with your neighborhood. Write down the zip codes and census tracts associated with the neighborhood. These will come in handy as you continue researching. Also note the map buttons that are next to the zip codes and the census tracts. The SF Find site provides a wealth of information. Take some time to explore it and you may find other useful information for your project. In conclusion, remember that boundaries you need to use for your research do not match each other perfectly, and to use SF Find to get your neighborhood boundaries, zip codes, census tracts, and more. And that's Finding Community Data, SF Find.